Good morning to one and all. Today we are dealing with the history first chapter for class 8th. How, when and where. Shall we start? Yes. I would like to start the class with a question. We all know history as a subject. Can you define history? What is the subject matter of history? Yes. We all know history is the study about past. History is the study about past. What are the things that included under history as a subject? Yes, we all know dates, incidents or events, different personalities. These are the major subject matter of history. Yes. Next, I would like to analyze this topic into different dimensions. Especially, olden days, history means simply analyzing when a particular event or incident happened. But now, the things already changed. It analyzes how and where those things happened. For example, I will give you one example, then it will be clear. If you take a king, olden days, we analyze when that king died, how many battles he engaged, when he was crowned. These are the things we are mainly taking into consider. But today, as a historian, the dimensions already have been changed. For example, now we are mainly dealing how culture and tradition have been evolved, what is the livelihood of the people, how people earn their livelihood, and what are the religious stories. And these are the things nowadays we are taking into consider under history. That means history as a subject, the scope has been widely increased. Okay. So history basically associated with the dates. Next, let me say James Mill. What are the problems of periodization by James Mill? And who was James Mill? Shall we start? Yes. This is very important area for exam. And let me say, James Mill is a Scottish economist who published the book The History of British India. A History of British India in the year 1817. This book was so crucial. Why it is so crucial? The main reason is he divides Indian history into three periods by mentioning Hindu, Muslim and British. Yes. Did you get to the interesting fact in this? Yes. And the thing is, we can't divide any country's history by saying its name of religions. So, but James Mill did that. And according to him, India, especially Asian culture, is uncivilized and it is having more caste taboos, issues, religious struggles, inequalities. All these problems have been there. But the third period, as he entitled as British, and British period in his opinion was full of development and enlightenment. and totally he called this period as civilized. But have you ever thought any problem is there under this James Mill's classification? Yes. We can't divide any country's history or time into such a way by mentioning their religions, etc. And also it will lead to some religious issues or inequality issues, because religions are always very sensitive, as we know. So James Mill periodization is creating more problems, but this periodization is very important. You please note the book, that is A History of British India, published in the year 1817. Okay. Yes. Next, another important classification was there. What is that classification? History was classified into three, which was adopted from Western concept. Let me say ancient, medieval and modern. Which are they? Ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient history means we are not having that much of information. Yes. And medieval history means in between ancient and modern some development was being made. That is what medieval history. And modern period means all the development activities, enlightenment were happened, and especially science and literature field, more development have been made. This period is called modern, but they called this modern period as colonial. Who called? Indians, because Indians called this period is purely colonial period. Colonial period means all the discrimination, all the inequalities were happened during this period. It is not so developed as called by Britishers, and as per the second classification. So you got a new word, colonial, colonialization. What do you mean by colonialization? Yes, it's always very important term under history. Colonialization means subjugation of one country over another country in terms of political, economical and social. That means social, political and economical restriction by one country over another country is called colonialization. Okay, I hope you got an idea. And they called this period, the developed modern period, as colonial period. That means full of inequality. Yes. And let me say the very important topic in this chapter is how Britishers, why Britishers gave more importance for official documents and records. Yes. What do you mean by official documents? Yes, official documents are administrative decisions which are published through memos, notices, letters, orders, etc. Have you ever thought why these official documents are needed? And Britishers largely promoted when they got power, when they got administration, when they conquered administration here in India, when they colonized many countries like India, and they gave more importance for these official documents, such official documents. So why? The main reason is it can be useful for the future administration. If you keep these official documents as a record, official records, what we call, it can be useful for future administration. And also it will bring you, it will give you, it will provide you a systematic administration at present. So these are the two important reasons why Britishers gave more focus on official documents. Okay, right. Along with the official documents, they gave more importance for surveys also. Okay, so surveys, we all know, it is a process of collecting the data. Okay, then these are the major ideas of this chapter, how, when and where. So let me conclude the major areas to focus in this chapter are, first one, it is importance of history or importance of date and time in history as a subject. Then, as we told, James Mill, his views, classification and its problems. Then the second classification of history, that means ancient, medieval and modern, make an idea. Then colonialism, the process and the meaning of colonialism, and what are the importance of official documents. What are the importance of official documents and what do we mean by these official records? So please go through all these lectures and please do read a textbook. Have a peaceful period, time ahead. Thank you.